What was the worst name you've ever been called?
I don't think I'm allowed to say it on here.
Lizard? Lizard man?
Yeah.
Tweety bird? Gumby?
Okay.
Do you remember
now I'm starting
Gumby?
to get offended.
Hey, everybody. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Jordan.
And we're
Daniel and Jordan.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the show, the greatest one on the internet and the greatest one you've seen all day. How are you doing today, Jordan?
I'm doing great. How are you today, Daniel?
I'm good, man. What about the week last week? Did you have a good week?
I had a blast, dude. I mean, I was on top of the world.
There's a song about that.
I don't know it. I had a spiritual high, though.
That's good. What does that mean?
Well, I think you had one as well. You had a whole episode about your purpose and everything on your other podcast.
Yeah, and I think it kind of spun off. See, I enjoy doing this podcast and then my podcast because it's like, you know, you're a smart co-host. You're a smart host, co-host. No?
Okay.
You know,
I don't think so. I don't know why I'm getting this reputation. I'm not smart.
I think you're great.
I'm not.
And on top of that, he's good looking.
No. Soon, though, Katie wants me to get ripped.
Oh, yeah.
She wants me to get really ripped. She wants to make sure my hair's tall. And I need to get my teeth whitened.
So looks like
she wants a whole new man.
Looks like you got a long road ahead of you.
Yeah.
But you're headed down the right path. You look good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You look really good too, buddy.
Are you, has she got you on a more regiment? Like, are you doing more in the gym?
No.
Not at all?
No, that's all hopes and dreams right now.
Hey, but you look good. It looks like you're healthy.
I'm running. I do run occasionally. Yeah. I do enough to where I don't feel bad. I've had a bad eating week, though. I ate pretty trashy.
I would say that, too. I've snuck a couple extra Reese's this week.
Oh, yeah. When we went on that trip to
I think
Atlanta.
that kind of like, you know, you start in the habit, and I think that 24 hours of eating shitty, you know what I mean? Like, I've started to kind of go down that little rabbit hole like, oh, extra Reese's not that bad.
That's all it takes is the one time you stop at a gas station, you're thinking, well, I can get a pack of gummies. It's just one pack of gummies, right, Jordan? Next thing you know, you're shooting it up in your veins. Those sugar bears.
Melting down the sugar gummy bears. Feed me!
Smoking it in the corner in a crack pipe.
That's so funny. But what I was saying is I enjoy this podcast and then kind of correlating with my podcast because, you know, we get into some deep topics.
Lately, we've really been more than you and I have ever. Yeah. Turns out you and I are pretty shallow people.
Yeah, I know, right? We're exploring the deep end.
Yeah.
But with us getting in that deep end of things, you know, it's kind of got my brain thinking like, what is my purpose? And then I've kind of finally figured that out after so long. Y'all don't mind Zeus, by the way. Zeus is my little Maine Coon cat. He's probably going to try to get up there. You may get to witness him fall. Yeah, potentially. He just had surgery.
If you don't know what a Maine Coon is, a Maine Coon eventually grows to be like how big? Like how many? It's like
you've seen Talladega Nights. You know, Karen the cougar.
Yeah, it's not a cat. It's
pretty
a cougar,
close.
basically.
Yeah, they get pretty big.
So it should be like in a couple of years, it's going to be badass. Yeah. He's messing with the light back there.
Yeah, that sounds about like it.
Well, done with that toy.
But the things we talk about on this podcast and the things that I talk about on our After School with Lawson podcast, it's like it really gets my mind thinking, and then it's like me finally figuring out my purpose after 33 years. It's even got me more of, I feel like I'm just more vulnerable. I feel like my heart's more opened, especially a lot here lately. I don't know. Yeah. I think a lot of it has to do with the discussions that we have here.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I've zoomed out of my own life a lot more lately. I've seen the bigger picture. It's like I've let go of a lot of this, like your ego that just holds on to all of these ideas, and that you just, if you don't believe in them, your whole world falls apart. Yeah. And it's like I've allowed to kind of let those things go and look at the bigger picture and maybe like believe in a little bit of magic, a little bit of purpose, a little bit of meaning in life. Yeah. And it's strange that I'm finding answers that I didn't ever think were out there.
What do you think has helped with that?
I think just coming of age. I think actually recently the biggest thing is it's like I have this thing that goes in my head that's like, eventually someday, Jordan, you will have something to say and you should be able to say it. And it's like I spent my whole life with low confidence of like, who am I to say anything? Who am I to preach anything? And I still feel that way. But I still, at some point in your life, you have to look and say, I've learned enough to come out and say something to help other people. Mm-hmm. And it's like I think I've just turned that page in my book of I guess I'm a man now.
Right.
And I think that is what it is. It's
You're a full-grown boy.
I wish it would help out in other places.
Yeah. We're far from men, but if anybody's close, it's this guy.
I'm finally growing a bush. But yeah, I think it's zooming out of my own life and realizing all of these beliefs I had were just things that I was holding on to, and I forgot that there was however many other people in the world that exist that also hold their own beliefs, mm-hmm. and they're just as equally as important in the way I held things. And it zoomed me out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I truly believe it. And, you know, we may not be making a difference in anybody's lives here, but it's very good self-growth for myself. Mm-hmm. And if anything, that's a win. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
These conversations here, it's like it's helped me grow and develop. Even in the last 2 months we've been working on this project, it seems like, and it's like, you know, if anybody has been helped, like I can truly say that this has truly helped me for real.
I think, and if like the word of the week and all this, and you know, it comes off, I try my hardest. All I think is like, how do I not sound preachy? How do I not sound preachy? And I think I know what the key is now, is that what I'm saying is just me talking to my younger self. Mm-hmm. And all it is it's just my self-growth. It's things that I've learned. It's me talking to my younger self when I was ignorant in some form. And here's a message that would have helped my younger self. Mm-hmm. And I have no clue if everyone's just like, yeah, we got that like a decade ago.
We're just now getting it.
Yeah. And so maybe we are lagged behind.
Yeah.
But maybe there's other people lagging behind that we want to make sure that they can get a help up to.
Yeah. Well, enough with the sad stuff. What about last week, man? Fill me in on all your accomplishments.
We slept in the same bed.
Yes, and that was
the greatest
amazing
accomplishment of the weekend.
You didn't snore, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You didn't. You slept shirtless, though.
I did sleep shirtless. You know, I could have went even further and slept pantsless.
Well, I did. Yeah, that's true.
He slept fully clothed.
Fully clothed.
In a pair of like underwear. So when I say underwear, I mean like the how do you describe that?
Boxer briefs.
No.
To be clear, yes, boxer briefs as well.
Yeah, he had like the under.
It's like long johns,
long john
thermal kind of thing.
He had the pants on because we did film a funny skit that y'all have probably already seen, and if you haven't, you need to go check that out. It's super funny. But
episode 6 with Davey Fortner.
We had the long johns. He had those on. I was like, "Are you wearing boxers underneath those?" Because usually it's just those. But you wanted to feel extra secure, I think.
Yeah, and I felt like you were trying to get me to take off layers, so I kept on what I had.
I mean, what? Who blames me?
I played it safe.
I think you made a good call.
An extra layer, an extra gate to the to the entrance, at least, you know.
Locking up the abyss.
And you gotta twist the deadbolt.
But yeah, that trip was a blast. Much needed for some boy time.
It felt like we were young again. Mm-hmm. Which doesn't get to happen very often.
And it was just so in my mouth. Sorry.
You're fine. It felt like we were young again, and it happens. It was so fast. It was just like quick. We were busy, but we weren't feel that busy. It's just kind of like we had things to do, but we weren't rushed. I don't know. We fit it all into the time frame perfectly.
I think it was the perfect time.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I guess that's never going to happen again.
Probably not. The moon and stars were all aligned that day. We did meet extremely cool. What are they called? Bellhops, I guess, at the hotel.
Oh yeah, very cool. Very cool, Daniel.
Funny story. I'll fill you in on this. So we walk in and he said, "Hey, what are you guys doing here?" And I'm like, "It's our honeymoon." When it really wasn't. It was pretty great, you know. And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And this is Jordan's favorite part of the trip, and it's super funny. And he ended up to be a really nice guy. I got a key card, you know. It really wasn't our honeymoon. We were just messing with him, gave him a hard time.
Fill him in, Daniel. What happened next?
So then what happens is he proceeds to kind of change his voice a little bit, you know.
He got some swagger to him.
Yeah, he got some swagger. Great looking dude. I mean, he looked good.
Oh, yeah. The dude was really good looking. He was really well groomed.
Yeah,
and we're talking about late at night.
Yeah.
Like, you know what people look like. Usually at a hotel late at night at the desk.
Usually you walk in and you're just like, you smell smoke on him. You know, he just came out from behind the back, not giving a shit about what's going on.
They're annoyed to pause their Netflix show to talk to you.
But this dude was great.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a silver fox, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that is the exact words that we should use. But he pulls up his keychain, and it was a rainbow keychain. And he proceeds to say, "It's okay. We accept family here."
And so Daniel immediately starts backpedaling. What started as a joke.
Yeah, for sure.
Turned into a... this guy's getting some... he's thinking he's on a... He's found the what was it called?
The good luck
unicorns.
charm.
A couple unicorns out in there.
The unicorns.
He's thinking...
But it was funny. A great guy. I lost my key. I thought he was going to give us a key for free, which turns out good looks do come in handy.
Yeah, well, yeah, that and pretending to be in a relationship with another man.
Yeah, he enjoyed it. But that was a fun trip. Super fun.
It was fun. It was an absolute blast. Yeah, we did our skit. Stayed up late doing the skit in the hotel room, filming it. And we were kind of getting a little into acting, which I've never really done a lot of. And I was telling you after that, I was like, I want to get into acting.
Yeah.
I'm about to start listening to podcasts with actors, and I'm going to watch some videos. And it
was fun.
We plan to do more skits, and I think that's going to be a blast.
Yeah, I think the skits are really what kind of will separate us from other people, you know. Just with our personalities and stuff, I think it's perfect. And with that trip, you know, we met with Davey, like you said. But just having that one-on-one, off-camera time with Davey, I think is super important. You know, he's a great dude.
I'm glad you see that's important.
Yeah.
I agree 100% that time we spent before the podcast, getting to talk to him and get to know him. And, you know, we felt like we were using material we should use for the podcast.
Yeah.
But it's important to just make a connection with a person before you have a conversation with them.
Yeah.
And I think that it might have helped him feel a little more comfortable with who we are, that we showed who we actually are as people and stuff like that, and that we cared about him and his life.
Yeah, and there's plenty of times where I've done an interview and it's I find myself asking these questions and it's man, I need to wait for the podcast. But no, you know, there's more questions that pop up and then you can always re-ask that again, you know, and like you said, it just makes him feel comfortable and just more comfortable to open up about certain issues that he was going through, you know, and
now we get to text him, and that might not have been able to be a thing if we didn't actually get to know him. He would have just been some random weirdos who showed up at his parents' house. And
he did share my story on his story of late, and she turned it on. So she goes through YouTube all the time. Long story short, I guess she may have clicked on our California song. She's loving it. She's dancing in the living room. So I film her, put it on Instagram, and I tag him in it. And then he reshared it to his and was like, you know, evidently that's the demographic of the age range, you know, from 2 to 5 is what listens to his music. So it was pretty cool. You know, he probably would have never shared that if we didn't spend that one-on-one time and really getting to know Daniel, getting to know Jordan, and then us getting to know him as an artist and a normal person. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day.
Yeah. That was it was really cool to get to know him, especially from knowing him through the past and all that, to finally make a connection. And it's cool to be able to text him about music, to be honest.
Well, cool. My week was about full of his, you know. I was full of him that week, you know, and I couldn't get enough. But, you know.
They never can.
Everything you heard there, we experienced together, which is great. But there was one thing I do want to point out in particular that really happened just the other day, yesterday to be exact. So long story short, my cousin works for the Bowling Green Fire Department, and his coworker that also works with him there, they lost everything in a house fire, not last night, but the night before last. And I don't know this guy at all. I just seen Jamie post a Facebook status and it said, you know, requesting clothes and certain size shoes. I think he's a 32 in pants, which I'm not there yet. I'm trying to get to 32, but I was a 36. Okay. So like I said, long story short, we didn't have none of the clothes sizes that they need. They have 2 kids, the woman needed clothes. We're just not the same size family as them. And our kids are a little bit older than theirs. Completely lost everything. And so I was like, you know what? The least we can do, we'll get them a $500 gift card. They can use it on bills, food, clothes, whatever they may need. And still after that 500, I'm like, dude, that's not enough. Like, I got to figure out something. And then it dinged on me. I'm like, I'm going to go live on TikTok and try to, like, a year or so ago, we went live on TikTok on the Awesome Lawsons, and we took donations for Feeding America, Kentucky's Heartland. We raised over like $5,600 to this organization, which was awesome. And so, and I never go live. I'm not like on there, thank you for the rose. Thank you for the hamburger.
Well, you were the other night.
But. Yeah, that was fun. But, I don't go live often. And when I do, it's for a reason, to share some information about the podcast, or, to do certain things like we did. But the Awesome Lawson community came together, and we went live. I shared the Cash App. I shared our Venmo. These people don't know me other than the fact that we just produce this content, make people laugh. I don't know the family that was involved other than through Dustin and Jamie. But we were able to raise $1,013 on TikTok yesterday for the family. And then with that, we're putting in $500. Everybody who donated, we're putting their name in the card, and we're just going to give it to them. We don't want to post pictures of them receiving the card or anything. We do want to post a story of us purchasing the thing. That way people know, like, because you just never know with people. And in the people that donated, just the simple fact of you not knowing me other than from video, and then you just having that in your heart to be doing something good. And it just takes that first person to do it. And then it's crazy how it's like a domino effect on the people. The first person to send $2, and then you get a 10, then you get 15, then people are sending 50. And then one of the most donations we got yesterday was a $200 donation from a lady. We were $200 away from reaching 1,000. I was going to stop at 500, and they're like, no, keep going. Let's see how much we can get. And I was like, we'll do 1,000. If you guys get 1,000, we'll put in the 500. That'll be $1,500. And a lady, we were $200 away, and she donated the 200 to meet that goal. And it's crazy, the community that is surrounded by that brand. And I think we'll be eventually surrounded by this brand because of the things we talk about and just the precedents that we're building. Strong things happen when good people get together. And it was, and 1,500 isn't a lot at all. I mean, that's not gonna.
It's more than I got in the bank.
It's not gonna replace the house,
right?
But it's just the thought of saying, "Hey, we don't know you from Adam, but here's something from us. We could do 500, but listen to this. Our family on TikTok was able to give this amount, and I mean, it was special to me. It was so heartwarming. I was so emotional yesterday." And it's mind-blowing to me that the people believe in the same thing that we do. It's, and like attracts like, at the end of the day, how if you're kind and generous and caring and loving, it's crazy the people that will surround you. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like the same people, and it's strong. So these emotions and these actions towards people, it's like you've got to be that, especially in the social media world, because easily you can change the world, and the power of people gets underestimated. And you get 1,000 people behind you, 1 million, 4 million people, you could do so much with this crazy planet that we live in. You know what I mean? It's powerful, and it was awesome. So I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Yeah, that's a little bit. You talking about your purpose?
Yeah,
and I think some of that ties in there for you, huh?
For sure.
I think it's a little full circle.
Yeah.
So
it was awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty neat, especially from the aspect of you not knowing them personally, and then extended from that, your followers who don't know you personally.
Exactly.
And that to be a real thing to actually, because if so many people who didn't know them all pitched in, you can get support from your community of people you don't even know helping you. And I think that is just kind of the future is going to have to be, is you're going to have to be willing to help people you don't know, and people you don't know is going to have to be willing to help you.
Yeah. And if we do that, we could change the world, baby.
Yeah. It's community.
Seriously.
Yeah, community. I think that's true. I think it starts with a giving heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it was a great experience, very emotional. And I'm just blessed to be able to be in the position to be able to have the people surrounded by me to be able to do that. And it was great. It was a cool feeling. And I don't tell you to boast on it or anything like that. I just think it's important if you're a listener and you have a social media presence, of followers or whatever business, I feel like you truly need to use that to the good, and just help people, and do what you can for them. I'm not saying write them a check for $10 million. I'm saying anything you can do in your means to be able to help these people or help an individual or a family, and within your means, you need to do that. I feel like,
Yeah. And extend from the internet, if you don't have a following, you've got people around you that need you to talk to them and to care for them and to show up for them. So yeah, I think everyone can help. It's not just Daniel. You can also, you're in your own house. Sometimes people just need someone to talk to.
Yeah, for sure. Well, enough of that sad stuff. Let's get to the greatest thing that you've been waiting for. That's why you tuned into the show. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce my greatest friend, Mr. Jordan Hunter, the man with 2 arms, 2 hands, and 2 feet of wiener, with the word of the day.
Oh, thank you, gracious Daniel. Oh, thank you.
He's
thank
learning.
you.
He's learning.
Okay, well, it's still going to be sad. The word of the week is judgment. That's not really sad. Judgment. We like to take people and we like to put them into boxes. And those boxes, we like to have labels on them. And that could be from anything of what they believe, where they're from, how they talk, how they look. And we'd like to take these boxes, and to keep it simple, we have 2 shelves. Typically good and bad, or we like to interact with, we don't like to interact with. And we put these boxes on the shelves and we're done with it. And I think it's important to not think so black and white. I know it's the easiest, most simplest way to think, but I think we need to look and think, well, what if we had more shelves? Maybe this person doesn't fit in this box. Maybe they fit in the box over here and over here. Well, then I need a new shelf to put them on. And I think it's called like duality, right? Which is this idea of good and bad, right? Black and white, light and dark. It's the opposite ends of 2 things. And it can be good in some cases, but in this case, I think it's bad when you're judging people, when you're only giving them 2 options to go into, good or bad. I think it's important to know that everyone really honestly does fit in some range of the spectrum of good and bad. They aren't purely this or they're not purely that. And the more we think that, the more we think of enemies and allies, and that's separation between people. And to realize that we are all on this spectrum together, and that we all have depth, and we all have something more than just a label that fits us. That being said, I believe in lizard people. You ever looked at someone and there's just nothing behind the eyes? And then you think if you look at them long enough, they might blink sideways.
Oh.
Have you ever met a person, you just looked at them and you thought there's nothing behind those eyes?
My wife.
Nah, I'm just kidding. But kind of. But no, seriously, I think that we shouldn't think so simplistic. I think it's natural for humans to do that. We've always done it. I think that's how societies have grown in the past. But I think at this point in time,
and you're talking about as far as judging
people,
others,
putting a label on someone, you are this, and now I've automatically put you in this category. And after that, you don't even think about it because you're moved on to the next thing. And you end up drawing lines in the sand between people here and people there. These are the people I associate with, these people I don't. And that's how you pigeonhole yourself into just the same opinions.
Yeah.
And you just get confirmation bias. People who are exactly like you saying the exact same things. And you don't need that in your life. You need people saying different things to you that you disagree with, so you can think about that. And then maybe it'll confirm what you believe. Maybe it'll make you think a little differently. I think it just opens your mind. It makes you zoom out. That's kind of the thing that I've been kind of pondering on a lot this week, is zooming out. And maybe that should be the word. I don't know. I've got too many words.
I like judgment. You know, and it's true. Once I look back at, you know, when I was younger, I mean, I think everybody goes through that judgment stage because, you know, you're surrounded by your friends and the people that are like you. It's like a little clique, even in elementary school. I mean, you have like the clique. You have the sporty kids, you have the nerds, you have the people that look like they don't have much, or the poor kids, you have the rich kids, you know, and
well, I think also in that age we learned that, I mean, you do want to find people like you because it's important to find people like you as well, until you kind of have a confidence in yourself, because that's what you relate to. You need to know that other people are like you, but sometimes you get attached to the people like you.
Yeah.
And then that's all you know. That's all you know. And then everything else is taboo. It's a no. And then then it's time to have an adventure in your life and to come out of your shell and with confidence be who you are and be around people who are different than you to understand.
I'm going to be a little vulnerable with you guys and just tell you, you know, I wasn't the greatest person growing up. You know, I would see a fat person, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny, but I would see a fat person, you know, in school.
Go on.
Seriously, I'm being vulnerable with you guys, so stop making me laugh. You know, I would see a fat person, and I wouldn't talk to him, or I'd see an ugly person or someone who might look like they wouldn't have much, and I wouldn't talk to him because it's like they're different. You know what I mean? And at that point, I'm already judging that person for what they look like, what they have, you know?
Very powerful.
And so not even understanding or knowing that person. And I went through middle school, through high school like that. I didn't talk to no ugly kids.
And you're not to blame for that. That's human. I did that too.
Yeah.
I did it through my 20s.
And I think it takes a lot to even admit this thing, you know, especially on the air here, but it's like, why not? This is why we sign up for this show. It's like, it's self-growth for me. But there was many years throughout my life where I would just look at you and be like, they look different than me. I'm not going to waste my time, you know? And being in the public, working in the public, I really got out of that mindset, you know, just because I'm forced to serve everybody, you know, working at Wendy's.
Yeah.
Fat, skinny, black, Mexican, white, rich, poor. You're serving thousands and millions of people every day. So being of service to the public, I'm forced to talk to you. I'm forced to get to know you. I'm forced to have that customer interaction. And having that, there's so many cool people out there that look different. And, you know, and now it's like, I don't even see a fat person. I mean, maybe, but I don't even see if you're fat, if you're ugly, or any of that. It's like I see is a person. You know what I mean? Seriously.
I think, which, you know, I think a lot of people do really good with like nowadays. I think we're coming along nowadays as far as like racial issues are I think getting better. And I think one thing that would maybe for self-reflection for anyone could be, what's the one thing that you label somebody that you immediately dislike them for? You know, and maybe you are really good at like not judging fat, skinny, ugly, racial.
One would be their beliefs. I mean, I think that's huge right now, is whether it's religious, or I said it wrong again. Religious or political beliefs. You know, whether you're at this end or this end. That right there sticks out to me.
I think when you really look at it without much of an opinion on it, you can see that everyone's opinion is still based in an innocent intent, right? They intend to have an explanation for the world that's really innocent, and sometimes their belief though will cause them to think of other people as enemies, and that's a problem. But ultimately, everyone's coming from a place that they're innocent people and they're trying to explain why evil exists in the world. And the only way for that to happen is for someone to be on another side and then people to be on my side. And it's just not a reality. That itself is causing an issue.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I think, honestly, you know, I'm not going to put my beliefs on you too much, but I do believe all religions have quite a bit of shred of truth in them. deep down that there's truth. I don't know about all the specifics, all the history, but I think that we all do truly want good in the world.
Yeah.
And that the more we separate people into the enemy and into the allies, we're not doing ourselves a service by allowing us to have access to everyone in the world, to get all the information, to know what the truth is, and to accept that maybe the truth isn't hard facts, or maybe we're not meant to know the truth. Maybe we're just supposed to exist and experience life and to love each other, to grow together. It's been weighing on my heart pretty heavy.
Yeah, so do yourself and us a favor and grow up and quit judging people.
I'm sick of it, dude. When do we get to be president and vice president?
Put your purse down. President and vice president. Let's go ahead and just christen that right now.
All right.
You as president of the Daniel and Jordan podcast, and I will be your vice president.
When do we get the prostitutes?
What? When will we eat the prostitutes?
No, get the prostitutes.
Oh.
And I'm assuming that's your job to get on the phone to get, because you're vice president.
I will do it.
And it's my job.
Any specific type?
To do the prostitutes. Any type? Fat, ugly, skinny.
We're judgment-free zone.
No, any racial. Yeah, we're judgment-free zone. So
we're kind of like Planet Fitness right now.
Only label I care about is prostitute.
As long as it starts with that P.
Yeah.
And ends in the toot. I love it, man. Yeah. Well, I think the word of the day was good. I think it's a good time for it. And seriously, I wasn't trying to be funny earlier whenever I said that. It's true. I used to judge people with the way they looked. And as you get older and as you mature, which I think we all go through that growth process through life, you kind of realize how ignorant, I guess, things you were right. And I'm not saying my parents are like this, but growing up in a different era, it's... I don't know. Everybody's beliefs are different, and maybe my parents didn't talk to fat people. I don't know. I have no idea.
Well, I think a different time, and I think you can't blame people for the time that they were born in. They didn't have the information we have now. We have different information, and I think it's important to kind of lay down some of the old ways of thinking, and that's not disrespect to the old ways of thinking. There's tons of great teachings in the old ways. Oh, yeah,
for sure. But we learned some today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, from your meemaw.
Yeah.
But I think it's okay to lay down some of the old ways of thinking and to know that we are learning more and more every day, especially in the age of the internet. The information's out there. Now, of course, there's information for everything out there right now. And that's why you have to be good at vetting your information. But we know more than we've ever known. And the conclusion really is that we all are human. And that is the thing that we all share. And the human experience is it's similar in a lot of ways, and it's very different in a lot of ways.
What do you mean?
We all experience similar emotions. We all experience the same emotions and all that. We have just to varying degrees. Some people have extreme trauma. Some people didn't experience much trauma. And that's part of it. And all those things formed your beliefs and your judgments, and your beliefs and judgments really kind of just a reflection of yourself.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of your life experiences looking back at you. It's not anyone else. Everyone else has their own boxes they put on shelves. And that's where the complications happen.
Yeah.
Because we have so many ideologies happening.
All right, so now we do have a question that just came through.
Oh, thank God. I love questions. I love when people write in and send us questions.
And we're going to tell you how you can do that right now before we get started.
Daniel and Jordan podcast at gmail.com, or message us on Instagram, or I guess TikTok. I don't know how all that works.
Yeah, surprise. We have an Instagram.
That's right. Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube especially. Go to YouTube if you're probably already there watching this, but send us a message and ask us for advice or a funny question. We like stupid, funny questions. We'd love to be funnier.
Yeah, if you have a funny question you'd like to ask or a serious question you would like to ask, that sounded terrible. Question. If you got any questions you'd like to ask, send us an email. But this question is from a gentleman, and he just would like to know, how do you as a person, with you being you, how do you deal with, I guess, real life problems, but yet you're positive, and then you kind of keep it real on, I'm assuming, stories on Instagram and stuff.
Okay. Keep it real, like online with people.
Yeah.
Well, I think it starts with a little confidence in who you are. Okay.
You gotta look good.
Yeah. You gotta look good. I mean, I guess, or not, but you have to have confidence in who you are. I know people out there, you think that people are going to think that you're lame or stupid, and they will. But to be honest, if you're putting yourself out there, you're probably already more confident than the person saying that about you are. But I think like one thing is learning balance in life. And I was talking to a friend about this, about a lot of people live a really negative life, and then to flip the switch, they go super positive. And life isn't about having the scale like this and then tipping the scale like this. It's more about trying to remove some of these negative things in your life to hit a balance in life. And in that, your highs and lows aren't as crazy drastic. It's easier to keep cool. It's easier to gain confidence in what you know. You're not highly emotional in parts of your life. You just can kind of find a balance in life. And in that, it just a good foundation, right? And it's confidence. And I know I've had a lot of people call me a lot of different names in my life. And
what was the worst name you've ever been called?
I don't think I'm allowed to say it on here.
Lizard? Lizard man?
Yeah.
Tweety bird? Gumby?
Okay.
Do you remember
now I'm starting
Gumby?
to get offended.
I thought this was judgment
wait a
free.
second here. Gumby's a little too close to home, buddy.
Oh.
What do you get? You get... what do you look like? Dang it.
Good luck.
He's too good looking.
God, he's
Damn it.
He looks so damn good. No, but I see what you're saying. Seriously.
Yeah. You gain confidence eventually, and you just realize the people who hate on you are just insecure people.
Yeah.
And
9 times out of 10, those people are dealing with deeper demons than what they're kind of telling you, or calling you or naming you this, whatever. But 9 times out of 10, those people are going through something a hell of a lot worse.
Yeah. I think earlier I said, like, I've noticed everything's a reflection of themselves. So if anyone comes out about, attacks you for whatever, it's a reflection of themselves. And so I heard like recently, like when you get successful at all, which means just going out and being confident looks like success to people. That when you become successful, what you're doing to the people around you who aren't doing anything like that, you're holding up a mirror to those people, and they're looking back at it as, this is what I could be if I was confident, if I tried, if I put myself out there. And they hate looking at that because they see that them themselves aren't doing that. And then that turns into usually a hate or a disgust for you, or they want to bring you down with them.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I'll tell you, one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard with us being on social media is, with different levels come different devils. And it is a true fact. Every peak of success that I've ever seen on the social media world, at every peak, there is a different issue, a different problem. And it's, again, how you deal with those problems when they arrive. In that quote alone helps me kind of maneuver around those demons or devils or bad people, whatever you want to call them. But like, honest to God, with different levels come different devils. And it's not a level of up here. It's 9 times out of 10, that first initial step up, you're not even this high, you know what I mean? Like, you're one step off the ground. And when I say one step, you're just now getting into a brand new podcast show, or you're just putting your first piece of content out on the internet. You will not believe the things that you see or hear. It's like, oh, Daniel and Jordan's making a new show, or Jordan's posting these videos. Like, who's he trying to be? Like, it's unbelievable, that first step. And the way you approach that situation is, ask yourself a couple questions. Do you love what you do? Do you get a thrill out of it? Are you doing anything to hurt anybody? I think those are 3 important questions. And if it's something you love, you're not hurting anybody, and you're having fun while you do it, guess what? Continue to post the video. Continue to chase your dream. Continue to be a baton twirler. Do whatever. But that first initial step of changing your life in a different direction, you're going to have, people say stuff all the time.
Yeah. I think also too, it takes, as I talk about confidence, but then I think about, how do you get to confidence? It's bravery. It's courage. It's and all those things. It's taking a leap of faith, not knowing, and just being willing to experience something new, experience life for what it has to offer. Maybe it won't be anything like you think. Maybe it'll be a failure, but you tried, you did something brave, and in that you'll gain confidence, and you probably won't fail. You probably will be a much bigger success than you were prior. And that's not a failure.
Yeah.
You might not be the biggest, greatest thing ever, right? You go out to be, whatever. You want to be Will Smith. You ain't going to probably do that. But you go out there, you want to be an actor. You could get into some good films. You could get into some small films.
You can get on Tubi.
Yeah, you can get on Tubi. I might see you on there. No, but yeah, courage and bravery and just the willingness to go on the adventure, to be Frodo stepping out of the Shire.
Who's Frodo?
Oh,
Lord of the Rings.
Dude. I need a new co-host. I need a nerd co-host.
You need a new vice president.
Yeah. I need my Samwise, which is probably a reference you don't get.
Is that like a jujitsu master?
No, that's Rudy from in Lord of the Rings. He's Frodo's little friend that goes on the trip with them.
The only Rudy I know is Rudy.
Same Rudy. Same Rudy. That actor.
The football player?
Yes, dude.
He's in Lord of the Rings?
Yes, he's Frodo's side guy.
That's Rudy?
Come on, man. Yes.
I'm going to have to rewatch this.
Sean Austin, is that his name?
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I have a whole new respect for the world of the witchcraft, or what is it? What show is
okay.
it?
All
World
right.
of Wars?
I'm getting offended again.
Seriously, I didn't know that was Rudy.
Keep it up.
Well, guys, that sums it up for today. I'm going to go off of this show today and watch Lord of the Rings, the first one.
No, he's not.
Definitely not. But, I am going to leave today, going to pursue something different. And I do want to kind of think out of that judgment zone, which I don't think I'm in that zone anymore. But I'm going to maybe talk to my kids about it, with them going through that young stage. So I'm going to take a little bit from today and apply it to this week, and come back next week and see what my journey was and what your journey was,
Yeah. And I'm going to go out into life brave.
Yeah. Good luck.
Sorry, ladies.
Just remember, if you guys had, enjoyed any bit of this podcast, if you got a little something out of it, do us a favor. Send it to somebody right now. Pick up your phone, text this episode. I think you can click the little dots and then share the link with your friends. Share the link on Facebook, and just say, hey, look at these two nutheads that think they know what they're talking about. And, send it to somebody, because I'm sure if you benefited from it, even if it's a laugh, someone else could too. What do you think, Jordan?
Yeah, that sounds great, Daniel.
All right, just remember, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Jordan.
And we're
Daniel and Jordan.
We'll see you next time.
Later.